You know, I gotta be honest because I was pretty dubious about the NBA restarting their season. I really was. But you know what? This past week, I actually think the NBA is gonna resume. And some of the ideas that they have for this NBA bubble that they're calling it, where all the players will be in Orlando and they're going to play there, they're going to live there. I mean, the details on this are completely unreal because this is something you would see out of a movie, and I could not believe it. And I thought it would be really cool to go over a lot of these rules. So in today's video, I'm telling you all about that, and wait until you hear what's in this rule book for the resumption of the season. Hey guys, this is Troy, host of the Half Court Report YouTube channel, and I was reading an article from The Atlantic that was written by Shams Charania, who is their basketball insider over there. He's got all this inside knowledge, and he was breaking down what we can expect from the resumption of the NBA season. This is a 113-page rule book that these guys are going to have to follow. Normally, I get my basketball news from Woj, but this week, Shams was completely blowing Woj out of the water. It was like a elbow drop from the top rope because he was just destroying him with all the insider information. But anyway, listen to what happened on Tuesday. Did you guys hear about this? The National Basketball Players Association sent all of its players a health and safety manual ahead of the resumption of the 2019-2020 NBA season. So that's going to start July 30th at Disney World in Orlando. And this thing is thick. 113 pages of rules, 113 pages of information that they have determined is best for the player's health. Kind of think of it as the inside of the bubble handbook. And we're going to get to all that, so make sure if you like the NBA or just basketball news in general, like this video and subscribe to this channel. It helps out the channel a ton if you do this. This channel is only like 4 months old, and we are growing really, really fast. I was kind of surprised by it myself. Getting close to 5,000 subscribers, so that's going to be the goal over the next few weeks. So make sure you like the vid and sub to the channel, would mean so much. But there are several different phases to resume the season. This 113 pages of rules, regulations, information has a bunch of specific dates associated with them as far as when players are going to be allowed to do X, Y, Z in order to get closer with the resumption of the season and the rules that have to be followed. And first off, there are going to be players that aren't even going to be there. Not everybody is required to play. And I'm not talking about the 8 teams that weren't invited. I'm talking about the 22 teams that were invited to finish out the season in the bubble. Not everyone there who's normally on the roster is even going to play. For instance, a player who is deemed high risk would get an excused absence, and they would still end up getting paid for the remainder of the games. I've heard players like JaVale McGee, Joe Ingles, Larry Nance, they are giving it a second thought if they want to expose themselves or their families to a potential infection of the virus because they or their family members are at a higher risk due to immunity issues. They're immunocompromised. And I've even heard that players like Dame Lillard, even Jason Tatum, Donovan Mitchell, they are all having second thoughts about participating as well due to social unrest issues, contract issues, and just health and injury issues in general. So even if you're deemed healthy enough to play, you can choose not to play, and in that case, you would forfeit your pay for the remainder of the season, which is 8 games, and then also the games that your team would go into the playoffs up to 14 games. So you can't lose more than 14 games of pay. So that's a decision a lot of players are going to have to make. They're going to have until later this month to decide if that's something that they want to do. They have to determine, is it going to be worth it for me to play? What if the whole rest of the team plays and you're the one holdout? How does that look? So there are some things that they're going to have to decide on that. I found this to be interesting too. Once players arrive at the bubble, they're going to fly right from their home markets to Orlando. So once players get there, they're going to be isolating on arrival for 2 days to make sure they are healthy and clear of any sort of virus or infection. The players are also going to have these things called distance monitors, and this is crazy how this works. Check this out. They're going to be wearing monitors, or they're going to have the option to wear these monitors. They're not required. They can wear these monitors that if they are within 6 feet of someone who is also wearing a monitor for more than 5 seconds, the monitor is going to beep and let them know that they are too close to someone else. Because you got to remember, social distancing is huge right now because that helps in lessening the transfer of the virus. So this is optional for players. It's going to be mandatory for other people. Kind of think of it like a proximity alarm, I think is the best way to put it. All food is going to be prepared on site by chefs within the Orlando bubble, and you're just going to be able to request whatever you want. They are strongly discouraging outside food. They're only allowing that for certain instances. So everything is going to be made in-house by some really awesome chefs. I think it's pretty cool. Hotel amenities are also pretty unreal. There's going to be a players-only lounge. They're going to have NBA 2K. They're going to have TVs. They're going to have gaming. They're going to have water sports. They're going to have pools. They're going to have hiking trails that the players can go to on their off time. They're going to have barbers. They're going to have manicurists, pedicurists. There's going to be a 24-hour VIP concierge. Basically, whatever you want, anytime you want it, you're going to be able to get it. And there's going to be daily entertainment with movie screenings. There's going to be DJs. There's going to be concerts. There's going to be ping pong and pool and lawn games. Of all the phases that came out within this release, I thought that Phase 4 was one of the more interesting parts. And I've already talked about a couple of these things, but also part of Phase 4. Check this out. Everyone on the NBA campus will be required to wear a face mask at all times, except when they're eating or in their individual rooms or during a workout. Players are also going to have the option of wearing what is called an Aura Smart Ring that could potentially help with the detection of the virus and going to help track in temperature, your heart rate, your breathing rate, and other measures to see if maybe you are at risk for being infected. Also, there is going to be drug testing, but it's different than how the league normally does it. So starting on July 7th, they're going to do random drug testing for PEDs and some really hard drugs. But recreational drugs, not going to be tested. So I feel that's interesting because they're kind of turning a blind eye for the players, maybe doing some things that aren't necessarily legal in Florida and aren't necessarily legal in the NBA's collective bargaining agreement as a whole. But I think they are making some exceptions in this case. All players, staff, coaches, everybody associated with the team is going to have to sign in writing that they agree to all these rules as far as the distancing, wearing the masks, not letting other people in your room, not leaving campus. And if you break these rules, you could get a warning, you could get a fine, suspension, or they may just completely remove you from the NBA bubble, remove you from the Orlando campus, and your season would be finished. The NBA has set up an anonymous hotline for violators. Can you believe this? Okay, they're actually setting it up where guys can snitch on somebody else if they notice them breaking the rules. Say you see somebody from a rival team doing something that they shouldn't be doing, you could snitch on that player, and that player could potentially get in trouble, get kicked off campus, and then you wouldn't have to worry about that player in the next game. I really don't think other players are going to turn guys in, but the fact that the NBA is making that an option, I think is kind of hilarious. When the games are played, it's going to be 2 rows on each side of the court for each team. So there's going to be players on the back row, and they're going to be having to wear masks the entire game that they're not playing. Players are also going to be able to attend games, which is kind of interesting because not only will they be wearing masks, but they could be doing some trash talking during the games, which I think would be pretty cool to listen to. You got to remember that ultimately the players have the upper hand here. If they decided not to play, then the NBA would lose about $500 million, and I am not making that number up. They are slated to lose tons of money if the NBA season does not continue. They would lose so much, in fact, that the collective bargaining agreement would just have to be torn up and rewritten. And the owners, they need the players. They don't want to come up with a new collective bargaining agreement. That would mean basketball is gone for way too long. That would be a huge hassle to have to do this. This is a test for how the world is right now. Because, I mean, like it or not, this is what we're living in. And whether you watch the news, whether you really believe what all's going on, or if you're kind of dubious about maybe they think they're taking these rules too far, we don't need all these precautions. The fact is, this is what we're living in right now. And I'm not surprised that the NBA is taking all these precautions. The NBA loves and takes care of its players, and just the fact that they're doing this proves it. Adam Silver has proven to me time and time again, and he's doing it here as well. He is the best commissioner in all of sports. The way that they're handling this is a complete win for him. They are doing all that they can to make sure the players are happy, making sure everybody's healthy, and making sure that they're continuing on with the season. They've said that they're going to make sure the social justice movement is a big part of this restart. So to me, it looks like they're really checking all the boxes and they're getting everything set up the way it needs to be. And I think this is going to be successful, and I think the NBA actually is happening. I was a little surprised at first. I was a little dubious at first, but I think it's officially going to happen. Hey, let me know in the comments what you think about this NBA restart and just how psyched you are for these games, because I cannot wait. It's been so long without basketball. I mean, hey, it's helped grow in the YouTube channel, but it has really made things boring from time to time as well. I would love to see some basketball games, but yeah, make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for watching. This is Troy with the Half Court Report, and I'll see you next time. Hey guys, one more thing. Here's some more videos to check out on the Half Court Report channel. I hope you like them, and thanks for watching.